Welcome back to another episode of Streamline, where we help to simplify success. My name is Holly Nixon, Head of Marketing, and today we have the real MVP, CEO and founder of Streamline, Faiz Junega. Welcome.
Thank you, Holly. Lovely to meet you.
I've got you in the seat today because I really want to find out how Streamline started, what's the story behind it, what the mission is, how are you going to help these businesses. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming up for Streamline.
Yep.
And let's just throw it all out there. Let's really help businesses to connect with Streamline and what the mission is. So give us a little bit of insight into you. And I guess your background, your journey, how has Streamline come up?
So to start off with, first and foremost, I'm a husband, I'm a brother, I'm a son. And that comes at the forefront of everything that I do. In terms of Streamline and how Streamline came about, we set up, we've had a number of companies. I've had a number of companies throughout my history, everything ranging from pharmaceuticals, skincare, all sorts of companies from all sorts of sectors, telecoms as well. Throughout all of those businesses that I've had, we've all of them have had sort of pain points within their setup. It might have been supply chain, it might have been getting out to the right customers, it might have been marketing, any sort of help that we needed. We really struggled to find that help that we really needed. So what we did is we actually came up with an idea of, right, we need somewhere that we can go find improved supply chain, improved access to our customers as well via a validated means. I mean, there's traditional methods out there like LinkedIn, Google, places like that, but it's quite hard to find the right key decision maker and get through to the right people. And that's why we've come up with this platform that's all AI tech driven, that enables small businesses to get in front of large businesses, and also for large businesses to start sourcing locally.
I love that, because you saying about, finding suppliers, whether it is just like a simple accountant sometimes, I find, especially with social media now, a lot of us search through those platforms. It's so noisy and there's so many businesses now that come up. It's like, how do you know who's real? Who are the cowboys? Who's got the bad reputation? And it's really hard now because it's so easy for us to write our own review and upload it onto stories and, call it our own. How are you verifying these businesses?
So we use loads of different metrics. We draw in everything from Google searches, deep due diligence based on AI, which will basically scrape the web, look for all of the reviews of clients, look through all of the background information, see if there's anything negative coming up, and that will be highlighted in a report. But we also use enhanced services such as credit check agencies, fraud prevention agencies as well, to double check and make sure that everyone that is on our site is verified and vetted. So that's pretty much how we do it. Obviously, there's a few other bits that we do in there as well, but that's kind of like proprietary to what we do, right? But it's all about creating a safe and secure network for businesses to operate in, making sure that everyone on our site is like adhering to the PSLs of the big boys as well. So say, for example, we've got a partnership coming up with the NHS that we're discussing right now. Right. And one of their key requirements is that everyone has to have certain accreditations. So we make sure that before anyone is able to bid for any of their opportunities, they've already met their requirements. So we really do tailor it down to business needs and specific business requirements as well.
That's really impressive, because I've worked in recruitment before, and trying to work with the large main contractors, you always had to work through a preferred supplier list, right? PSL. Yeah. So why not do that for every other business around the UK? And it is specifically UK businesses that you're focusing on. Why is that?
So the main reason that we're focusing on UK businesses is because that's where we are right now. Number one, we're in the UK. I've had issues in the UK trying to find local supply chain. There was one time, and this is actually where Streamline, the idea for Streamline Spot, we had a urgent shipment going out from the UK. It was going over to Saudi Arabia. We were exporting pharmaceutical products. We'd run out of temperature loggers, and we need temperature loggers to make sure that medicine is transported in the right temperature ranges.
Of course, it's really important.
Yeah, so it's like urgent. We needed it. Yeah. We couldn't find anyone locally to supply us those temperature loggers. We couldn't get anyone to deliver them within like a 24-hour period. So what we had to do is we found one supplier that were based in Chelmsford. We actually went out there, but that's actually what sparked the idea of, hang on, why can I not access a database, and why can I not find someone that's got temperature loggers local to me? There's thousands of businesses in our local area. Why can't I find someone that can help us with that? And that's where the idea really sparked from, that look, we need a way to actually find what we need urgently in a trusted method, right?
So when it comes to business, like you're an established pharmaceutical business, would you say it is more aimed at the established businesses, or would you say this is great for new business starting up and looking for supply chain and things like that?
So one of the areas that we want to really focus on with Streamline is helping new businesses come on board and get established. There's over 5.6 million businesses in the UK that are already established. 2023, there was around 900,000 businesses that were incorporated. 2024, there was around 820 odd thousand businesses that were incorporated. 4% of those fell within the first year.
Wow.
50%, over 50% of them fell within the first 5 years. Wow. And that can be down to so many different things. It could be down to bad planning, bad advice. It could be down to not being able to get their products in front of the right customers. It could be down to poor supply chain and managing costs, right? And that's where we really do try and help out. So what we try and do is we help small businesses that are newly established. We help them out with their education. So say, for example, if they're looking at setting up a podcast studio, for example, and they need specialist tax advice with regards to podcast studios, we will put them in touch with the right accountant who's got that set of skills. Conversely, if they're in healthcare and they need an accountant that can actually help them out with their healthcare needs, we'll put them in touch with the right accountant for their requirements. And that's all done on the AI metrics as well.
That's so impressive.
So what happens is when, say for example, when a small business signs up with us, and to sign up on our platform for small businesses, it's actually totally free, especially if they're looking to improve their supply chain.
Amazing.
If they sign up with us, we actually utilize what their industry is, and we match them up automatically with the AI to businesses that can support their needs. So it's all done automatically, which cuts out a lot of the noise and a lot of the issue in trying to find the right partners. So as well, for businesses, it's providing that lead generation to making sure your ideal customer is coming straight to you as well. Yeah, exactly. So the beautiful thing with Streamline is it works in both ways. So not only does it help you improve your supply chain, but it also helps you get your products and services out there to people. So say, for example, you're a small business, you're a small packaging firm based in Bedford area, but you need to get out into loads of different industries. It will automatically help you find the people that are looking for your products and services in the local area, therefore also helping larger businesses that are looking to source more local, reduce their carbon footprints and all of that sort of stuff as well.
I love this because I also think as a UK, especially, recently there's been a lot in the public eye with, say, fashion industry and struggling with supply chain. And of course, a lot of them go out to China, a lot of them go out to, all these other countries and end up finding that they're working with cowboys and losing their business. There was something in the news recently about SLA, quite a large fashion brand around an influencer, and she lost everything because she was just chasing her tail. And it does make me think this platform that you've created can actually help keep business in the UK, because there are people that are cost effective, there are people that are more sustainable, but like you say, it's just so hard to find them. So there's a lot in the news at the moment about US tariffs.
Yep.
Another great reason to try and keep business locally. What's your thoughts on that at the moment? So
just touching on your first point, again, there's loads of businesses out there in the UK that can actually help with requirements. Instead of going out to China, we can go out to China, we can buy a substandard product, or we could go out to China and find a great product, right? So it's really hit or miss. It depends on who you're actually trusting. But with regards to sourcing locally, it's always better to promote the UK. At the end of the day, we're a small little island.
Yeah.
We really need to look after our own. Why are we trying to go out to different countries and support other economies when we should really be focusing at home first?
Yeah.
So that's that point with regards to the fashion brands. Again, if you have a look in the Midlands, for example, our history as the UK is actually textiles manufacturing, especially in the Midlands, right? So it only makes sense that we are sourcing from the UK.
Yeah.
So companies like Pretty Little Thing and all of that are outsourcing to India, to China and all of that, maybe we should be looking at home first, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So with regards to US tariffs, that's a whole different ballgame. But I think it actually gives us a lot of opportunity in the UK. It gives us a lot of opportunity to export. It also gives us a lot of opportunity to import more. I think relations with the US will probably strengthen. But again, with the political situation at the moment, it's all hit and miss. We don't know where things are going to go, how things are going to develop. But what I do think is that it presents a huge opportunity for us in the UK to actually boost UK businesses. It will wipe out a lot of competition from China and it will allow us to export a lot more.
Yeah.
And as the UK's only got a 10% tariffs and it's also been paused, I think the last pause was for 90 days. But I think it's definitely a fluid situation. We'll see how things develop.
Something to think about, isn't it?
Yeah.
Another thing that impressed me when I was finding out more about Streamline is how you are really looking to help the startups and the struggle. Like, as you said, you're a business owner, you've had multiple businesses. So you know the struggle when it comes to funding, initial investment, just like the basics. And this probably comes back to the stats that you've given about, you know, why so many businesses fail. Just talk a little bit about how Streamline can help on a larger scale with those startups.
So quite a lot of businesses fail either down to poor planning. The business plan hasn't kind of worked out, or they've not done the research. Maybe they're partnered up with the wrong people. I've been partnered up with the wrong people before. Or
in terms of investors?
No, not only in terms of investors, but also in terms of actual partnerships.
Oh,
so
okay,
say, for example, you've got a business partner. Sometimes that fit doesn't work. Like I've had examples where I've partnered up with someone, either that business partner hasn't been the right fit for me or I haven't been the right fit for them, right? There's issues like that. But I think with regards to the most important thing to do if you're starting up a business is actually do the planning and do the research. You've got to prove concept first. People talk about launching a minimum viable product, which is what we've done with Streamline. We launched a minimum viable product first to actually test the market, see what the demand is.
Yeah.
And now that we're in a position that we've seen the demand, we've seen that the base is growing, the customer base is growing, we've now invested more into actually launching our fully fledged AI site.
Yeah.
I think with regards to small businesses, obviously funding is a key issue. What we're aiming to do with Streamline is not only do the B2B networking and the AI tech behind it all, but it's also the educational piece as well. We aim to be a one-stop shop. So say, for example, there's business that's starting up in, I don't know, south of England somewhere, and they need advice with regards to how to actually set up their corporate structure. They can come to us. We can put them in touch with an accountant that will be able to help them out with that. Or say, for example, there's a business that needs to test their concept. Always feel free to reach out to us and we can definitely give advice, and we can probably put them in front of a panel of our customers to see whether their products and services are actually in demand. In terms of investment, we've got some exciting partnerships coming up with a VC called Blackfinch. And we are going to be launching a series very soon on how to actually get investment ready. So we've spoken about Ray app quite a lot at the moment, right? And obviously Sophie's in a position where she's looking for investment right now, and we can either divert her via Innovate UK, who help small businesses get investment ready, or we can help her get in contact with organizations like Blackfinch that can actually run her through the whole process as well. And also invest into her company as well.
And actually, just off the back of what you've said, I don't know if I've said to you, but she has already spoken to Innovate for your recommendation. It's had a really, really positive call where they're positive that they're looking to invest. So it just goes to show the power of your network, which we said off air, like your net worth your network is really your net worth.
Yeah, 100%.
And I feel like you've really got an incredible network already within Streamline that could really help people save time and money. And I think as a business owner, having a business myself, you make so many mistakes and it's always so costly, whether that's financially or that is your time. And I really do feel with Streamline, it's saving you so much time and mistakes when it comes to finances.
Exactly. I mean, that's the whole point of us, right? Is we're aiming to save small businesses time, money, and also effort in terms of improving their sales and their supply chain. It's really difficult to actually know who you can trust in terms of business and who you can actually invest time in, and who's real and who's not, who's just a time waster.
Yeah.
I've done it so many times where I've had a customer that has promised me the world.
Yeah.
When it comes to due diligence, they've wasted, say, for example, 3 months on building up this sales pitch, building up these hopes and dreams, but at the very last minute they pulled out because their due diligence has failed.
Right.
And what we're trying to do is actually eliminate all of that. Make sure the due diligence is done from the get-go so that you know that you're only dealing with trusted and verified people, and that the businesses are real at the end of the day.
Whilst you just touched on the verified supplier, I love that you have a 3-strike rule.
Yeah.
Talk more about that. And I think that's really important to hold businesses accountable as well, because like you say, it's easy to get on a preferred supplier list. Being in recruitment as an agency, it's always easy to get on. But I always used to say I'm only as good as the guys I would send out, which sometimes they just didn't turn up. So,
exactly.
you know, and I had to be honest and open with that. So yeah, talk to me about the 3-strike rule.
So there's a 3-strike rule in place that if a supplier fails, or if a customer fails to perform with over 3 times for different reasons, they're off the site totally, because we don't want anyone to be stung by them by a 4th time. So, I mean, it could be of various reasons. It could be because they've not paid the supplier on time. It could be because they've not delivered products. It could be down to some sort of communication issues. But anything that we can try and resolve, we will step in to try and resolve. But what we will do is we will not tolerate anyone potentially causing any issues for our customers or suppliers. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for us to not enforce those rules.
And I think that's really powerful, because half the frustration, again, as a business owner, is just the chasing of people for products and things. Again, I know you've experienced that yourself. Like, how much time does that take? So having Streamline as the middleman or middle business to deal with that for you is just a nice extra added bit of support. We said earlier about, you know, when you receive leads and things like that, how does it work with the platform? Is there a system where it helps manage the leads that come in?
Yeah, so there's a full pipeline back end. So when someone gets a lead in, or if they put an RFQ out, so they can put a request for quotation out. If you respond to that request for quotation, it will go directly into the main buyer's inbox, and they can then manage that accordingly. And conversely, if you get a lead into your business, it will be highlighted in your dashboard. You can then pick that conversation up. You can see exactly what whether the lead is worth you following through with. You can do your full due diligence. All the information will be provided to you about that company as well. And then you can make your decisions based on that.
Amazing.
So everything's direct into your inbox. I mean, it really is streamlining.
It's streamlined and it's simple.
Yeah.
So anybody from any industry can basically utilize this, you know, from an electrician that's thinking of changing into a different accountant, from a new fashion business that's looking for a new provider when it comes to the supply chain for
That's the beauty of what we're trying to do right now, is we're just trying to make sure that we're connecting all the dots between all of the companies in the UK. I think it's really important to support local businesses, especially not only locally within the UK, but also locally is in different areas. I mean, why am I, say for example, trading up with a company up in Scotland where I've got a company down the road that can do exactly the same job?
You've just not seen them.
I've just not seen them.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. It's all about enhancing those local communities as well. And I don't know whether you know, but like quite a lot of the larger scale organizations are actually trying to source more local and reduce their carbon footprint as well. And also they're really trying to build their local communities up as well. So it makes sense for all of these companies to be really sourcing locally, improving their supply chains and really focusing on their local communities.
And also, I'm just thinking, it could be saving businesses money. You have business development management team that are out there sourcing the new business. Ultimately, this can be potentially saving you from having to bring on somebody to be doing the new business by having a platform like this that's focusing on just looking after the leads and taking the leads on through Streamline. Would that be correct? Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it really does help with streamlining all areas of your business, right? So everything from sales to procurement to operations, because we've got like loads of logistics providers available. So if there's ever a requirement, it will actually just really help like save money on so many different areas.
And I think as well, there's so much pressure right now on businesses to be there on social media, picking up business. For me, straight away, I'm just thinking, okay, this is genius because I can just use Streamline and pick up all of the local business around me. That would be perfect for me, having a content studio. I know where all the local businesses around me to reach out directly and quicker.
That's it. That's exactly what it's all about.
Yeah.
Right? So I think with quite a lot of small businesses, they don't really know where to turn to as well. They don't know how to actually get in front of the right people in the right areas. And that's what we're trying to eliminate there. We're trying to really focus in on local communities, really focus in on what's happening within those local communities as well. So for example, different areas have different requirements. So it really does help to streamline the whole process, right?
And you've sold us the dream. Like, why you would not want to join Streamline, I don't know. But what is the price point around this?
So like I said earlier, for small businesses and for any business that's actually just looking to procure off the site, they need to go through the validation process first. But if they just want to buy off any of our network, sign up for free. And they can search everyone. They won't get sort of the enhanced due diligence, but they'll know that everyone is verified off there.
Yeah.
But if you are looking to sell on there, price point starts from £29 a month, depending on the size of your entity, and it goes right the way up to sort of £1,000, £2,000 a month. If you are a large scale corporation that's looking to handle multiple sites and all of that. Our money, we actually run on quite a lean operation, and that's why we don't really charge much. And we're actually more about developing the community first, and everything else naturally will grow as a result.
Are we allowed to talk about some exciting partnerships coming up?
So we've already touched on one.
Okay.
Right, which is Blackfinch.
Yeah.
And that's coming up quite soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully by next month, you guys will start seeing a lot more content coming out with them on how to get investment ready, how to perfect your pitch, all of that sort of great stuff. Also how to set up your corporate structure, but there's also a few other partnerships coming out. We've already had one of them being launched with WellPay. So again, shout out to WellPay.
We've already come on and supported.
Yeah. So we've got WellPay that can support small businesses. We've got Curry's business coming on board as well.
That's so big.
It's beautiful. So what we're looking at doing there is we've partnered up with Curry's to bring small businesses discounts on the products and services that they need. So say, for example, if a small business needs a new laptop or anything like that, they can buy it through our portal or get delivered to them next day. And that's done in conjunction with Curry's. Wow. So either you can go into your traditional store and buy products, or you can go into Amazon, etc., or you can get a bit of a discounted rate and go through us instead.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense. I'll do my whole house.
And that's actually what we're all about, right? So with small businesses, it's quite difficult. Like if you're hiring a new member of staff, you don't have time to be going out and researching, right, what laptop do I need? What infrastructure do I need to put in place? It's quite easy just to log into our system and just find out. One click of a button, just order everything in and it'll come next day to you.
Yeah, and we love a next day delivery. Faiz, is there anything else you wanted to touch on?
I think Streamline is going to be a very exciting opportunity for a lot of UK businesses. I think that it's going to be growing quite substantially over the next 12 months. We've got a lot of exciting partnerships coming up. There's a lot that we can't say right now.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of podcasts, the educational space, the awareness that we're putting out there, that's all going to grow as well. Yeah. And just thank you for everything that you've done so far, Holly. Really appreciate it.
Love working with you guys. I'm excited. I can see the vision, and after everything we've said today, I just think it's the time that the UK really does start to form and come together to start supporting each other.
That's it. That is a message that we really want to drive home there, is that, look, we need to be one cohesive community, and we actually need to support our local businesses as much as possible. And hopefully Streamline can act as a conduit for that.
And new site, talk to us about that.
So as discussed earlier, we've already launched our MVP, which is our minimum viable product, just to test what the market's like and see the reception that we're getting. The reception's been absolutely amazing. So therefore we've invested a lot more. We've invested into a new site that's going to be launched on the 19th of May.
Exciting.
Which is going to be really exciting because it's going to involve loads of AI tech. It's going to be able to do all the deep searches on clients, customers, all of that sort of stuff. And it's really going to help just streamline the whole process, make things a lot simpler, a lot quicker as well. Time is like really important to small business owners. I mean, the amount of times that you pull up, for example, and you've been driving for about 20 minutes, you pull up, and the amount of messages that you get coming through, right? What we really want to do is make sure that business owners are utilizing their time the most efficiently that they can. And that's why we're putting this new site out there to actually help businesses maximize on their actual downtime as well. And focus on growing their businesses. We want to take all of that hard work away from them, right? And just let businesses focus on doing what they do best, and that's operating their businesses, right?
And knowing that if they've got leads coming through and stuff from the website, it's quality leads, again, not wasting time.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing more disappointing. Also, one thing that I also love about what you guys are doing is that you are not charging per lead. There's a lot of rubbish businesses out there that are sending fake leads, charging per lead. Like, there's none of that rubbish with what you're doing.
No, definitely not. I mean, we're not interested in charging per lead or anything like that, because it just doesn't make sense. Why am I going to charge a small business that's looking to grow and expand? Why am I going to penalize them for trying to grow and expand? It doesn't make no sense to me. What we really want to do is actually support those businesses. The more leads that they get, the longer they're going to stay on our site, the more they're going to grow, right? So it makes sense for us not to charge for leads, and we will never charge for leads, but just create that safe ecosystem.
Amazing. Love that. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's episode and a lot more informative, and you understand the goal, the mission, and hopefully you're going to be a part of it. I'm going to put all the links down below in the description. So if you've got any questions, feel free to drop a comment. But thank you for joining us, and we'll be back next time.